what does the Narendra Modi government have to hide, especially because the BJP is a much more modern party compared to the Congress, and the Congress, especially with its association with Subhas Chandra Bose, perhaps have had so many things to hide.
There are two ways of looking at it. Number one, a conversation I had with somebody, so that conversation was to the effect that, look, we had issues such as Article 370 on our agenda for last 20-30 years. Yet it took us a lot of time because these are not easy things which could be done easy. It's easier said than done. So you have to keep in mind a lot of implications on the foreign funds, so on and so forth. And you have to look for the right time, right opportunity. And it's only then we were able to do it, even though we could have done it on day one, but we could not. It took us some time. And this view, which was conveyed to me, that give us some time. This is not a simple thing. It's very complicated. It's multi-layered. It has got a lot of foreign implications and so forth. So that is one way of looking at it. The other, which I have to say on the basis of the fact which are there in front of me right now, the BJP hasn't changed the official narrative of the Indian side. I mean, there's nothing has changed. I mean, I believe the former minister of HRD was publicly, proclaiming that he has changed not a word in the Indian history. So the problem with the system that for last 70, 80 years, the system has towed a certain line. It's very difficult for them to turn around one fine morning, even if the government top people change. And especially the bureaucracy which guides the government of the day. And they have nothing to gain by talking about Subhash Bose. Now, the biggest advantage with, for example, the problem with Subhash Chandra Bose's story, it is not sellable in America and Europe. Today, if you make the whole thing public, it might thrill people of India, but it will not make people in the West very happy. And the problem with the Subhash Bose story is another problem. The problem is that once you have the facts coming out, be it the issue of his death or otherwise, in whichever way you make the facts public, eventually it will come down to the fact that India became free because of this man. But the credit for India's freedom was transferred to Mahatma Gandhi. And when that happens, again the problem, there's a clash. The Indian ruling class and the elite are more interested in what will probably sell in the Western countries. And Gandhi brand, the biggest advantage with it, it's sellable in America and Europe. And our entire, I'm not saying that everybody is like Westernized, but then the basic fact of the matter is that the entire Indian ruling class and the elite are essentially Westerners. They are sitting in India, but their families and souls are living in Western countries. They probably wouldn't want to bring about such a massive change in the narrative. And we saw this thing recently when Prime Minister Modi announced, which I think is a very encouraging sign, that Netaji statue would be put up in Rajpath. We will talk more about it, a little later. And when that happened, suddenly you saw that people, Western media people, and also our Malini madam, in Chennai, the Hindu editor, whatever, she was speaking the same language as if she's living in New York City. She's not living in Chennai. So there's a problem with the Indian elite, and these are people who wield the power in the country. They are the running, and in fact, I remember again, thinking on the same line, when Prime Minister Modi thought of changing, certain names of certain parts of Andaman and Nicobar, people did not like this in their PMO because they're still, people are still victim of the wartime propaganda, the British propaganda about the Japanese. They tend to believe the British, not Japanese, not Subhash Bose. So that's so here a huge problem. System itself is not ready. I would draw an analogy between, you saw this very famous movie, The Matrix, Keanu Reeves, first part, not the latest one. I didn't like it. The first part was, it's a make-believe world, which was, built over 70, 80 years. To dismantle this matrix is not that easy.
Please remember to subscribe to us and switch on the notifications for this channel. For our other social media links, more content, and to support our work, please visit citti.net. Dhanyavad. Namaskar.